I've just come from over there and forgot to show you the passion flowers. So they're having a bit of a second wind. The old one, but the original passion flower is flowering all along the top of the pergola, and the new one, it's got two flowers on it. There's a sheep in the garden. She's been nagging for this gate to be open so she can come round, and she eats all the plantains. She just munches on those for ages. So it's greener out here than it is out the back. It's still like straw out the back, really crispy. But I can see it actually. Looking at this now, it's greening up, and our weather is lovely, cool. Well, not comfortable. You okay, Mrs. Ida? Sheep? She's ignoring me now. She's got what she wanted. She was nagging at the back door. She's peed at the back door, being quite demanding. So I hope she's going to get on okay with the house sitters. Not the best backdrop, but it would take quite an effort to move everything. So this is it. This is it. How I am. I'm quite sleepy because I only had about 4.5 hours sleep. Couldn't sleep. Head was just brain not shutting down. Had my appointment yesterday with my rheumatologist, and I was really unwell yesterday. I felt really weak. I got up and had a shower and a hair wash. By the time I got downstairs, I was absolutely knackered, and I was meant to do the pork with apple sauce that Kathy spoke about. This Kathy eyes wide open. I was meant to do that yesterday. There was no way that I could. I hadn't got any spoons. I was talking to somebody the other day about spoons. I did not have any spoons yesterday. I don't know what was going on. I felt really weak. I felt really feeble, and really tired. And so luckily I'd made salmon and broccoli tart the day before. So we had that. I didn't enjoy it, but it was like we had that before, for lunch. And went for my appointment, left here early because our route has got a diversion on it. Got there early, and I didn't actually, only waited 20 minutes. It wasn't too bad. She wasn't running late, so my appointment actually happened about 5 minutes before I was expecting it to. I was really pleased to see she hadn't got a mask on, and I said to her, I'm really pleased that you haven't got a mask on. But just as she started talking to me, she put her pen to her mouth, and I covered her lips. It's like, oh, please take your pen out of your mouth. I need to read your lips. So she is not happy about me having increased my steroids. She doesn't believe that my problem is related to my PMR. She's not sure what's going on, but she suspects there's some underlying thing going on. And I've come away with the same treatment because I need to go through and have quite a few tests to make sure that there's nothing going on, nothing underlying going on. I've got to have a tuberculosis test. I've got to have I probably ended up having a colonoscopy. I've got to have a mammogram, and I don't do mammograms. I stopped doing mammograms several years ago. And I said to her, I've stopped having them. She said, well, if you don't have one, I can't provide treatment for you. It's like she has to go through and check everything before she changes my treatment to biologic. And if I don't provide all of the assessments, then she cannot provide the biologic. So I think that's I understood it correctly. So I come away with a whole long checklist of things to do, which I'll start on. I need to see my doctor about that, and we're about to go away, so I've booked myself an appointment for when we get back. And it seems like I'm going to have loads of different health appointments, which I hate. a bit like Mark. Mark is so pleased to be out of the grip of the health service at the moment. What with his knees and his kidney and colonoscopy. I think he had about a year ago. So he's quite enjoying not being in the grip of the health service. And I think that I'm about to get in the grip of the health service. So yeah, I felt really, really unwell, and then we came away and um, I didn't put the sat nav on, and I said, "Oh, it's only just you just go down here, do what we did. We came up this way, we just go back this way." But I forget that there's a northbound exit being, hold on, no, a southbound exit, but there isn't a northbound in the same place, so you can't get on where you got off because we went onto the auto route a bit and came off. So we ended up travelling down for kilometres and kilometres, and we've done it before years ago when we got lost at night on our way home. And I said to Mark, we're going to end up in bloody Bordeaux at this rate. So we had a bit of a long journey home. Um, but as the evening progressed, I started to feel better, and I do think that what was going on for me was partially psychosomatic. There's nothing you can do about that. I used to feel uncomfortable when people talked about, oh, it's just psychosomatic, like it was my fault, but it isn't. The whole thing about psychosomatic is that you can't control it. It just happens. And I think that that's what was happening for me yesterday with the anxiety of the appointment. How much was resting on the outcome of the appointment. So I came away disappointed that I have to continue as I am now. She was not happy about me being on 12 milligrams, and I have dropped to 10 today, and I'm going to work this week on 10. That won't work very well. I will feel like shit, but I need to come back down on my steroids. So that's what I'm doing, because I haven't got enough to last me if I don't do that. I can't keep increasing them because my prescription's only for 9. Yeah, so that was that. And last night, yeah, so I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about the appointment, and a bit of a worry, I'm saying a bit of a worry because it really is a bit of a worry, because I'm not somebody that worries before I know something. I don't. So, but she did mention cancer. I think she wanted to know if there was cancer in my family. We ended up using Google Translate on her phone because she couldn't work my phone. And I didn't understand the word she said before cancer, and so I was saying je ne comprends pas. And so she wrote in cancer, and of course it was cancer, and she thought Google Translate had broken, and I went, no, c'est le même mot en anglais. It's the same word in English. So I mean, it was, she is caring, but I think she's feeling flummoxed by what's going on with me, and that I get the impression with the letter that she's written to my doctor, that she says that this is out of my remit. It's, we need to see what's going on. So yeah, so that's what's going on. Um, so yeah, thinking about that, and then starting finally to think about our trip and think about the things I need to do. I need to get my travel sickness tablets ready. Don't ever want to forget those, because if I get travel sick, I get travel sick, and I don't. There's no way. We're going from Roscoff to Plymouth overnight, which will be really nice to sort of sleep overnight whilst we travel. But I don't do the sea very well. That's why we do the tunnel a lot, because even if the sea is very calm, it doesn't work for me. I do have to take travel sickness tablets, and I've got 3. And the ones I take, I have to buy in the UK. I can't buy them here. I'll look online in a bit and see if I can order some, but they won't be in time. I can order them when I get to the UK, but I will need to, on the evening that we start the crossing, but I will need to wake up to one as well. So that'll be it. So yeah, that was going through my head. I yeah, just thinking about what am I going to take with me, what the weather's going to be like. This is always an issue in at this time of year. You know, we've had all this heat, but actually now it feels quite autumnal. And in the UK, I believe it's quite autumnal. And I forget what autumn heat's like, and actually it's probably quite warm. So this has got sleeves. So I will take this. I've got a white one of these that I've never worn because I don't have any white underwear, but I've seen other people in white shirts with dark underwear underneath. So I'm gonna I'm gonna give it a go. So what? Um, Kathy, you're talking about chatty, and that's fine. I'm very happy to read your comments. I do wonder though with those chewables whether you get the munchies. That would really do my head in if I got the munchies because I haven't really got anything that I can have the munchies with here. I don't think CBD oil gives me the munchies, but you know, steroids give you an appetite and whatever, and I need to avoid that. But I'm pleased they're helpful. You sounded cheerful, and that's pleasing because you're living in a horrible, horrible place at the moment. So I'm pleased that you are you're sounding bright, I suppose. Um, we have you found yourself found yourself having your rescue buttons pushed by people, when people tell you their story and tell you their, I'm going to use the word sob story. It makes it sound, yeah, but yeah, when they tell you their story or what's going on for them or whatever, does it ever push your rescue button? Like you want to do something, you want to make it okay for them. That happened to both of us the other day. I do hope this woman isn't watching my vlog. I don't think she does. I didn't get a sense that she knew me. Um, I put the Bramley apples on the free site. I told you I was going to do that, didn't I? And within 20 minutes, somebody had said, yes, please. And you know, when is good for you? And I said, come today, come tomorrow. Um, and she said, we can come this afternoon. I said, that's fine, come this afternoon. So they came with two big plastic, those garden rubbery plastic containers. I went, bloody hell, I should have shown you a picture of the tree. You're hopeful. Um, and they came in, and it was just, I'd said to her, you know, sorry if we're a bit off, we're really tired. And she said, oh, we're tired too, so don't worry, we can excuse each other. But she didn't stop. She didn't stop. I got Mark to show her them down to the tree because, as you know, when I walked back up with the Bramleys, which that was the same afternoon, I was breathless. There's no way I was going back down there. So Mark went down and was chatting with them down there whilst they were picking apples. Um, she came back out before they went down and got her stick and then said that she'd got something wrong and that she needed the stick. And I, okay. Um, and then when I showed her the wood that we've got out there on the pallets, I said, if you know, do you want the wood? We've got the wood. No, it's okay, thank you. He's not allowed to use a chainsaw. Oh, why is he not? He's got brain damage. Okay. Um, so off they went, and then they came back, and they were only here probably half an hour. But during that half an hour, we got her life history, their life history, what is the problem here for them in France, how difficult it is, and that they've got no money. And I was having to hold myself back from trying to find things to give them, from wanting to throw money at them, from all of that. And it was like, Jesus Christ, what am I doing? Um, so yeah, and then you know they were gone, and it was like, oh, um, and then she messaged me later and said, oh, you know, it was really lovely to meet you, and I'm sorry we overshared. And I just responded with a heart because it was like, well, I'm not going to give you a negative stroke for that. That's up to you. I'm not going to, you know, it's, I think she probably does it a lot and then get some feedback about it. And I thought, I'm not going to give you any feedback about it unless you're watching this video, in which case, yes, you did. But does that ever happen for you? It doesn't happen for me a lot, and I'm aware. The good thing is that you know, having gone through my training and my own therapy, I am aware when I get into rescue. It's not unconscious. Years ago, it used to be an unconscious thing with me that I would um, get into games with people. I'd get into the why don't you yes but with people, and I'd want to help them and I'd try and help them and couldn't understand why they wouldn't be helped. Because some people don't want the help. They make all those noises, but they don't really want the help. They just want to make the noises. Um, but so yeah, I'm much more conscious of what's going on, of my psychological response. So it was quite interesting. And Mark had the same response and realised that he'd um, shown a bit too much interest because he used to work with people with brain damage. So it's like, you know, it pulls at our profession. You know, retired now, obviously, but it pulls at our past life, that sort of thing, and it's quite difficult. So that was an interesting 40 minutes, and it really was 40 minutes, but it went on, felt like it had gone on for longer. Um, so that's that. I have. Oh, the other thing that was going on in my head was instructions for the house sitters. I had done some weeks ago instructions for the house sitters, but I'm now starting to top and tail it with some telephone numbers and um, telephone number for the Mary and all of the emergency numbers and the nearest doctor and all of that stuff. So I started doing that. I've done that this morning, made contact with them, just checked out what their dietary preferences are because I'm planning to cook something light in the evening because we will have had our main meal at lunchtime. I remember her saying that they like cooking. So I really hope they cook some stuff and put it in the freezer. That'll be brilliant. Um, but we'll see. I think that is all. My mum used to do that. She used to sit there and she'd tap, like, you know, when she's trying to remember what else it was that she wanted to say. And I'm always aware when I'm sitting here going, I think that's all. And I start tapping my head. I think, oh God, you're like your mother. I don't like being like my mother. But there we go, doing it again. There's a few things that I do when I'm talking to you that my mum, and I know it, and it's not. I haven't stopped it. I need to be able to stop it. I'd feel more comfortable if I stopped it. Um, yeah. Well, that'll have to do for now. I'm going to sit and read. I am reading. I've been reading Faith Hogan for several weeks now, whose novels are set on the west coast of. She lives on the west coast of Ireland, and her novels are set around there. I don't know whether they're real places. I haven't really looked, but the one I'm reading at the moment is called. Just waiting for my Kindle to the imp in my Kindle to wake up. Wake up! Um, what happened to us? I'm reading. Before that, I was reading The Girl I Used to Know, and then before that, I was reading My Husband's Wives. And oh, don't open it. I'm just wanting to look at it. What else? There's no, go away. Anyway, she's worth looking up. Oh, Becky was reading Fourth Wing when she arrived, and then very quickly she reads and reads and reads, and very quickly moved on to the sequel of that. And I haven't read it because whenever I see other people talking about it, and when I look at it, it talks about. I think it's fantasy, and it mentions dragons, and it's like it just doesn't do it for me, fantasy and dragons. And she said it isn't really like that, and it isn't fantasy. She said because I don't like fantasy. I said, but years ago I can remember you sitting here reading. Oh God, I can't remember what it was now. She sat reading a whole raft of books that I consider fantasy. I can't remember what they were now. She said, no, it's not like that. So I think I might this winter, once things settle, if they settle. You know how in winter you sort of shut down a bit and, you know, hibernate? I might try that because it's a big book. I might give it a go. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying some light reading because it's easy when there's a lot going on. Um, there was something else. I'm going to pause you whilst I have a bit of a think. It doesn't look like I've paused you, does it? It just sort of carries on, really. This isn't what it was about, but Kathy, you mentioned applesauce, how it reminded you of your mother. Well, I have to tell you, I ruined it. I mean, nearly ruined it. It was okay, but I got Mark to peel the apples because they're quite hard to peel and my hands wouldn't do it. Um, Chopped it up with a knife that was blunt because all my sharp knives were in the dishwasher, and put it in a pan of put the apple slices in a pan of water. And the problem with apples is they float. And I didn't even think about it because I was tired. So I went off to play my game and came back to start cooking, and they'd all gone brown. I went, oh no, they've gone brown. And he went, well, does that matter? I said, no, but aesthetically it does, because Bramleys go nice and white and fluffy, and these are not nice and white and fluffy. Anyway, cooked them and then got distracted, and then came back and they were just beginning to catch on the bottom of the pan. But actually, it was fine. So we had that today. So I'm really pleased that finally I cooked a meal. Finally, I just feel that I haven't been able to do what I normally do, and I enjoy cooking, and I enjoy eating decent food. We had broccoli and beans and a few new potatoes, applesauce, gravy, and a bit of pork, and it just feels healthier than some of the stuff we've been eating. So that felt better. Um, yeah, so there's that. Um, yeah, I don't know what the other thing was I was going to say. Of course, none of it's important, is it? So yeah, I'm not sure. So anyway, um, thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your kind comments. David makes me laugh. He says, "You look really well," and I'm thinking, but I don't feel well. Don't tell me I look well when I don't feel well. No, okay. It's very odd, isn't it? Um, I suppose I want people to say, "Oh, you don't look well." It sounds a bit more sympathetic in a way. But yeah. Anyway, thanks very much. Have a nice day wherever you are. See you soon.